In his last week before he died, Mo Howard had to tell the truth about something he kept secret for many years. For a long time, fans loved his brother Curly as the best part of the Three Stooges. He was the guy whose crazy acts made a whole time period of comedy famous. But what Mo told everyone at the very end wasn't about laughs. It was about sadness, feeling bad, and saying something that made people think differently about Curly. This wasn't a story about being famous and great. It was about a brother who felt guilty until he died. Starting out in Brooklyn. Mo Howard was born Moses Harry Horwitz on June 19, 1897. He grew up in the working-class areas of Brooklyn, New York. He was the fourth kid out of 5 brothers, in a Jewish family that came from another country, and had trouble getting enough money. From when he was little, Mo became really good at protecting others. He was the one who stepped in when mean kids at school picked on his younger brothers and sisters. He was a natural leader way before he ever got on a stage. One of those brothers was Jerome Lester Horwitz, who everyone knew as Curly. He was born on October 22, 1903. Jerome was the youngest kid, a nice boy who was full of trouble, clumsy, in a cute way, and could be funny without even trying. He could make a whole room happy. The brothers grew up when movies were just starting, when silent films made people all over New York really excited. Mo would often skip school to watch Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton at movie theaters in the neighborhood. He would watch every trick and hand movement. Jerome would come with him and copy what he saw. He would do fake falls and make weird noises like little shows for the neighbors. Family members remembered that Jerome never seemed like he was acting. He just was that way naturally. Laughter followed him everywhere he went. When Mo became a teenager, he loved acting more than school. He quit school and started working in the plays that weren't professional. He really wanted to help himself and his family get out of being poor. Jerome was shy when he wasn't performing, but he had something special that Mo saw right away. In a talk he did in 1960, Mo remembered Curly was always an actor, but he didn't know it himself. He did everything so naturally, like he was born to be on stage. Their mom Jenny helped the boys even though life was hard for immigrant families. She said Mo was the one who guided everyone and had big dreams for the whole family. Curly was the light that kept happiness alive in their house. That mix, Mo's big dreams and Curly's sweet personality, would later become the base of the most loved comedy team in Hollywood history. Brooklyn was where it all started. A tough neighborhood that shaped 2 brothers whose friendship would take them from childhood dreams to being famous all over the world. How the Three Stooges became famous. By the early 1930s, Mo Howard had already made a place for himself in vaudeville. He performed with a comedian named Ted Healy. His sharp haircut and bossy way of acting on stage made him the natural boss stooge. He was the one who slapped, poked, and kept the others doing what they should. But when Mo's brother Shemp decided to leave the act in 1932, Mo had to make an important choice. Who could take his place? To most people, Jerome seemed like the person who would never work. He was quiet, shy, and had never learned how to perform professionally. But Jerome really wanted to do it. He shaved off his thick hair and mustache. He chose the bald, baby-like look that would become famous. The change happened right away. The moment he got on stage as Curly, the audience went crazy with laughter. In just a few months, the new group, Mo, Larry Fine, and Curly Howard, was stealing the show from Healy. By 1934, they broke away from Healy completely and signed with Columbia Pictures. It was the big moment that made them legends. Columbia wanted them to work really hard. 8 to 10 short movies every year, each one filmed in less than a week. But the plan worked. Their slapstick routines, violent jokes, and wild making things up as they went gave audiences a way to forget their troubles during the Great Depression. Movies like Men in Black, which got nominated for an Academy Award, and Uncivil Warriors made the trio the kings of comedy shorts. At the center of this success was Curly. His talent for making things up as he went needed almost no direction. He spun in circles, barked like a dog, squealed, "Nyok, nyok, nyok," and turned accidents into perfect moments. Directors often let the camera keep rolling just to see what Curly would create on the spot. A rare Columbia memo that was found later said, "Curly is a genius who needs no direction. He can make the whole set laugh with just moving his shoulders." Moe, meanwhile, had two jobs. On screen, he was the bully keeping Larry and Curly in line. Off screen, he was the one who made deals, fighting Columbia's mean producer, Harry Cohn, for fair treatment. But even as Moe fought about contracts, he saw his younger brother becoming the main attraction. Curly wasn't just the clown of the act, he was the heart. And by the late 1930s, the Three Stooges were famous in every house, with Curly loved as the breakout star. The problems start to show. By the early 1940s, the Three Stooges were making the most money they ever had. Their short movies were shown in theaters all over America, and Curly was the fan favorite that everyone agreed on. Children copied his high-pitched woo woo woo, and adults laughed at his crazy fake falls. But behind the scenes, signs that things were getting bad were slowly showing up, and Moe, more than anyone else, noticed them. Curly, still in his 30s, began to change. His weight went up a lot. His once quick movements became slow, and he sometimes forgot lines he used to say perfectly. What many people thought was just being tired was really the start of serious health problems. Years of drinking too much alcohol, staying up late at parties, and constantly filming had started to hurt him. Columbia's punishing schedule demanded 8 to 10 shorts per year, with no care about the actor's health. The war years only made the pressure worse because audiences wanted happy entertainment, and the Stooges were expected to give it to them. On the movie set, Moe noticed moments that scared him. Curly would go blank in the middle of a scene, say words unclearly, or stare into space like he was confused about where he was. Crew members remembered Moe quietly stepping in, changing a scene, to cover his brother's mistakes without letting the cameras stop. Larry Fine later admitted in a 1973 interview, "We tried to hide Curly's condition. Moe told us to do whatever we could to make him look okay on screen, but deep down we knew he was in bad shape." In private, Moe begged Columbia's president, Harry Cohn, to let Curly rest, but his requests were ignored. In a handwritten letter found in 2023 from Columbia's files, Moe warned, "Jerome cannot keep going at this pace. He's exhausted, and I'm afraid we'll lose him if you don't do something." The begging was met with silence, and the contract requirements continued. By 1944, the decline was obvious. In shorts like If a Body Meets a Body, fans began to notice Curly's voice getting weaker and his timing getting worse. To the public he was still funny, but to Moe every laugh felt like a mask covering the slow breakdown of the brother he loved. What had once been natural brilliance was now a fragile act of trying to survive, the stroke and the end of Curly's career. By 1946, Curly Howard's health had reached a breaking point. The warning signs of slurred speech, memory problems, and slowed reflexes had been building for years, but no one expected the tragedy that happened on May 6th of that year. The Three Stooges were filming Half-Wit's Holiday, a short that would unknowingly mark the end of Curly's career. The final scene was supposed to be classic slapstick, Curly sitting in a chair holding a cream pie as chaos happened around him. But instead of laughter, the set became silent. In the middle of the scene, Curly collapsed from a massive stroke. He was only 42 years old. Moe, who was standing nearby, rushed to his brother's side, holding him and shouting for a doctor. Crew members later remembered that Moe's screams were unlike anything they had heard before. Not the fake anger of the boss stooge, but the real panic of a brother watching his sibling's life fall apart. Curly survived the stroke, but the damage was terrible. He was left partially paralyzed, his speech was slurred, and his coordination was destroyed. For a man whose talent relied completely on physical comedy, The cruel irony was unbearable. His career ended in an instant, and with it, the heart of the Three Stooges. Columbia Pictures moved quickly to fill the gap. Moe and Larry brought back their older brother, Shemp, to take Curly's place, but even Moe admitted the act was never the same. Shemp had his own style, awkward, nervous, and wordy, but he lacked the unpredictable spark that Curly brought. Audiences noticed the difference, and Moe felt it deeply. Curly, meanwhile, began a new life defined not by laughter, but by hospitals and nursing homes. Though his health continued to get worse, Moe never abandoned him. He visited regularly, sometimes bringing reels of old shorts to play at his bedside, hoping to see a flicker of recognition. In a rare 1951 interview, Moe admitted, "Every time I see Curly smile while watching our films, I feel like he's still there, still the old Curly. But then he goes quiet again, and I know he's slipping away." Curly's final years and death. After the devastating stroke in 1946, Curly Howard's life entered a slow and tragic decline. At first, he refused to believe his career was over. He often asked Moe when he could return to the set, not knowing that his body and mind could no longer handle the demands of slapstick comedy. Moe later said he thought he'd get better and rejoin us, but we all knew he wouldn't. Curly's health struggles got worse. He had more strokes in the late 1940s, each one leaving him weaker and more confused. He went back and forth between hospitals, nursing homes, and times when he had to be put in institutions when his mental state became too unstable to manage at home. Doctors said he had severe brain damage, and treatments back then offered little help. His weight ballooned as depression set in, and he became increasingly difficult to care for, going back and forth between being childlike and sweet to sudden bursts of paranoia or aggression. Despite his fragile condition, Curly tried to hold on to pieces of normal life. In 1947, he married Valerie Newman, his fourth wife, who stayed with him until the end. Yet even that marriage could not protect him from the relentless toll of illness. Friends and family who visited often described him as a shadow of the man he once was. Larry Fine remembered, "It broke our hearts. Sometimes he'd smile and laugh at old memories, but most of the time he just seemed lost." In 1949, there was a brief moment of hope when Curly made a cameo in the short Hold That Lion, the only film where all three Howard brothers appeared together. Fans watching the scene decades later could sense something was wrong. The man once known for spinning in circles and barking like a dog looked frail and withdrawn. For Moe, the cameo was bittersweet, a short reminder of what once was, and a painful confirmation of how much had been lost. On January 18, 1952, Curly Howard passed away at the Baldy View Sanitarium in San Gabriel, California. He was only 48 years old. The world reacted with shock. Fans who remembered his boundless energy and childlike innocence could not make sense of such a quiet, tragic ending. For Moe, however, the loss was not sudden. He had been mourning his brother for years, Moe's final confession and legacy. Curly's death in 1952 left a wound in Moe Howard that never healed. To the public, Moe carried on as the boss of the Three Stooges, first with Shemp, then Joe Besser, and later Curly Joe DeRita. The act continued, but Moe admitted the soul of the group had died with his younger brother. "Every time I walked into the studio, I still looked for Curly," he confessed. Years later, but he wasn't there. Television brought back their old shorts in the late 1950s, introducing Curly's antics to a new generation. Children who had never seen the trio in theaters fell in love with his innocent chaos. For Moe, this was both a blessing and a curse. He was proud that Curly's legacy lived on, yet each laugh reminded him of the pain behind the comedy. Determined to protect his brother's image, Moe founded Normandy Productions to manage the Stooges' film rights. He refused numerous advertising offers, writing in one letter, "Curly isn't for sale. He's an artist, not a product." Still, guilt ate at him. He believed Curly's decline was not only caused by reckless habits, but made worse by Columbia Pictures' relentless demands. In private letters, Moe admitted he felt like he was part of the problem. He had pushed his brother to keep going, fearing that without Curly the act would collapse. "We were making people laugh while my brother was dying in front of me," he once said quietly. By the early 1970s, Moe himself was in failing health, diagnosed with lung cancer after decades of smoking. In his final week at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in May 1975, family members brought reels of old films for him to watch. Nurses remembered him whispering, "Jerome," under his breath, as if speaking to someone no longer there. His daughter Joan remembered that when Curly's face appeared on screen, her father's eyes lit up, then filled with tears. It was in these last days that Moe broke his lifelong silence. He admitted that Curly wasn't the man fans thought he was. That behind the laughs was loneliness, illness, and despair. His confession wasn't just about grief. It was about regret. About a brother who gave everything to comedy until there was nothing left. Moe passed away on May 4, 1975, at age 77. His final words ensured that Curly would be remembered not just as a clown, but as a human being who paid the highest price for laughter. Moe Howard's confession changed the way the world remembered Curly. No longer just the funny man with silly noises, he became a symbol of both comedy and tragedy. A reminder of how much pain can hide behind laughter. What do you think was Curly's greatest gift to the world? Share your thoughts in the comments. Give this video a like to keep their legacy alive.